They say war is chaos, that survival is often less about strength and more about sheer chance.
Twist, twist, twist of fate radio.
Our story begins in August 1942, in the smoldering heart of the Pacific Ocean. It was the middle of the night, one of those nights that felt heavier than most. The Battle of Savo Island was underway, part of the brutal Guadalcanal campaign. The United States Navy was facing fierce resistance from Japanese forces. On board the USS Astoria, a heavy cruiser, 19-year-old Elgin Staples was at his post. Just a teenager from Akron, Ohio, he had joined the Navy earlier that year, full of purpose and patriotism. But now, in the smoke and noise of war, those ideals were being tested. Suddenly, the Astoria was rocked by explosions. Enemy shells tore into the hull. Fires erupted across the decks. The ship groaned, broken and burning. Amid the chaos, Elgin was thrown into the dark sea. Disoriented and injured, he flailed for something, anything. The salt water stung his wounds and blurred his vision. The battle raged behind him, but out here, in the water, it was eerily quiet. Just the slap of waves and the crackle of fire on the horizon. And then, something buoyant. A lifebelt. He barely remembered grabbing it, but there it was. A standard-issue rubber and canvas ring, designed to keep a man afloat. He didn't know where it had come from. He didn't even know if help would be coming. But it kept him alive. For hours and then days. 2 full days, Elgin clung to that belt. The sun blistered his skin, his lips cracked, he fought off sleep and salt water, and all the while the ring held him up, a quiet, unassuming hero. Eventually, a nearby vessel spotted the survivors drifting in the current. Elgin was pulled aboard, exhausted and sunburned, but alive. He owed his survival to that ring, a forgotten piece of gear that had become his lifeline. When he returned home on leave, he brought the belt with him. He couldn't let it go. It had literally saved his life. One afternoon while unpacking, Elgin noticed something he hadn't seen before. A serial number stamped into the inside of the belt. Curious, he showed it to his mother. She worked in a rubber factory back in Akron, specifically at the Firestone plant. Like many women during the war, she had stepped into industrial work while the men were overseas. Her job was to inspect and approve rubber equipment for military use. Long shifts, endless inspections, day after day, stamping belt after belt. She took the belt from her son's hands and turned it over. And then she froze. The number. It was from her line. She had inspected that exact belt months earlier, stamped it, approved it, sent it off to the Navy without a second thought. Just one of thousands she had touched that season. She had no way of knowing where it had ended up. Until now. The belt that had saved her son's life had passed through her own 2 hands. The moment was quiet. No music, no speech, just the breathless recognition that something incredible had happened. Something impossible to plan, impossible to recreate. Fate had drawn a perfect circle. She had helped save her son before she ever knew he was in danger. That lifebelt wasn't just rubber and canvas. It was connection. It was a mother's love, wrapped in wartime labor and shipped across the world. And when Elgin floated in the dark, thinking he was alone, he wasn't. His mother had already reached him. This has been Twist of Fate Radio. I'm Angela Clark. Until next time, remember, sometimes the smallest choices lead to the biggest consequences. Want to explore more stories like this? Visit twistoffateradio.com. There you can read more details about this story and others like it. Plus, you can submit your own Twist of Fate story to be considered for a future episode. You never know what twist of fate is coming next.